Hello everyone. Today I will tell you a story. The story is titled, A Day When Quirky Swore He Wouldn't Sleep, but Still Did. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate me. You can skip this if you don't like this video. Thank you very much. The story begins as follows. If you've ever lived with a cat who believes he's a warrior of discipline for exactly 5 minutes, then you already understand my Quirky. Normally, he's the kind of fluff who melts into sleep like butter on warm rice. But this morning, he stepped into the day with the aura of a monk who had just taken a vow. No naps today. It all began around 8 a.m. I woke up to find Quirky sitting upright at the edge of my bed, chest puffed out as if he had just made the most important decision of his 9 lives. His eyes sparkled with determination, or maybe dust. Hard to tell. He meowed once, a short, confident sound, then strutted out of the bedroom like someone heading to their first day of work. Naturally, I followed him with the same curiosity you'd have when watching someone build IKEA furniture without instructions. This was going to be interesting. Quirky positioned himself by the living room window, tail flicking with a kind of brave energy. Normally, he would curl up under the curtain within minutes. But today, he sat tall, staring out like a tiny security guard patrolling the garden. Birds chirped, leaves rustled, and the sunlight hit just right. Honestly, the perfect recipe for a nap. Yet he resisted with admirable effort. He stretched, dramatically, as cats do, then paced in a tiny circle, as if reminding himself, stay awake. You said you would. Be strong. To keep the vow alive, he climbed onto the back of the sofa, his thinking spot. From there, he supervised every movement in the house. My coffee brewing, the kettle steaming, the smell of toast drifting by. Each scent passed over him like a gentle lullaby, but he blinked hard, pushing himself upright again. For a good 20 minutes, he really was a new cat. A changed cat. A cat who believed in self-control. And I will admit, watching him fight his natural instincts was adorable in the way toddlers pretend they don't need a nap, but start swaying like sleepy palm trees. The day had only begun, but it was clear. Quirky was gearing up for a long, heroic battle against his greatest nemesis, his own desire to sleep. By early afternoon, Quirky's I will not sleep energy had shifted into something more chaotic. It started around 1 p.m. I was editing a video, and Quirky wandered into the room with big, purposeful steps. You could almost hear the motivational background music behind him. He jumped onto the desk and sat right in front of my screen, eyes wide open, trying so hard to prove he was still full of life. Then he blinked. Slowly, very slowly. You know that moment when someone blinks just a little too long, and you can see the soul leaving their body for a mini vacation? That was Quirky, but he shook it off. He slapped his paw on my keyboard as if to say, I'm awake. I'm alive. I'm helpful. Not helpful, but I respected the enthusiasm. To stay busy, he hopped to the floor and launched himself into a sudden session of zoom eyes. He shot across the living room like a furry comet, bounced off the couch, sprinted under the dining table, then skid across the hallway with the grace of a cat who believes friction is optional. His energy lasted a solid 3 minutes, which, in cat terms, is basically equivalent to a marathon. Then I noticed something funny. He started walking slightly slower, sitting slightly heavier, blinking slightly sleepier. But still, Quirky insisted he was awake. He parked himself by his toy basket and pulled out the crinkly fish, batting it twice with a half-hearted paw. The toy made its little crrrk noise, which usually excited him. Today it sounded like a lullaby. By 3 p.m., Quirky had reached the denial phase. He sprawled on the floor like a starfish, legs stretched awkwardly, head leaning sideways but not fully resting. Every few seconds his ears twitched, maybe reminding him that he was supposed to be awake. I sat beside him and whispered, You can sleep if you want, buddy. He opened one eye, then closed it again, then both eyes, then opened them halfway as if negotiating with his conscience. He wasn't ready to surrender. Not yet. But his determination was cracking like a cookie under pressure. By evening, Quirky was a cat held together by sheer stubbornness and maybe 2 remaining brain cells. Around 7 p.m., he climbed onto the couch beside me. His steps were slow, careful, almost ceremonial, like he was admitting defeat in the most graceful way a cat could. He sat upright at first, body wobbling slightly like jello on a plate. I tried not to laugh. but he looked exactly like a sleepy student trying to pretend he was paying attention during a long lecture. His head dipped, then jerked up, then dipped again, lower this time. Finally, with the gentleness of a feather drifting down, he curled into a little cinnamon roll shape and placed his chin on his paw. His breathing softened, his tail relaxed, and the last bit of determination slipped away. And just like that, Quirky, the cat who swore he wouldn't sleep today, was out cold. Completely asleep. Completely peaceful. Completely adorable. His tiny snores filled the room like the soundtrack of a cozy vlog. I turned off the lights, tucked a small blanket near him. He likes having it nearby, even if he never uses it, and let him drift. His long battle was over. The nap won. Peace was restored to the household. Watching Quirky's determined, but ultimately hopeless struggle against sleep reminded me so much of how we humans approach our days. We often wake up full of plans, promises, and ambition. I won't procrastinate today. I'll exercise. I'll drink enough water. I'll finish all my tasks. But as the day unfolds, distractions pull us in different directions. Our energy drains, our motivation wavers, and sometimes we resist rest even when we desperately need it. Quirky's journey, funny, adorable, and slightly dramatic, quietly reminds us that discipline isn't about forcing ourselves nonstop. It's about knowing when to push and when to pause. Even the most determined moments still need gentle breaks. And just like Quirky returning to his natural rhythm, we, too, function better when we listen to our bodies instead of fighting them. So here's the takeaway. Pace your day with kindness. Let yourself rest without guilt. Celebrate small efforts instead of chasing impossible perfection. Your energy, like Quirky's, isn't infinite, so treat it with care. If you need a moment to breathe, take it. If you need to reset, do it. A little pause won't derail your goals. In fact, it might be the very thing that helps you keep going.